So we're back with AutoCAD 2014 talking about Chapter 2. So the Chapter 2 talks about file extensions, and here's some previous drawing that I had open. So you'll see here's the file name .dwg. So you've got .dwg is your native extension for AutoCAD files. And I'm just going to go to Save As, and you can see that there's lots of different file types. So I'm going to start down here. You've got DWGs, and notice that you have 2013. And what that means is if you have a copy of 2013 or 2014 AutoCAD, then you can open these files. If you have a copy of AutoCAD 2012, you would not be able to open this file. I would have to save down. So if you look, there's 2010, 7, 4, 2000, release 14. So it's really important in the AutoCAD world to know, if you're sending CAD files back and forth to somebody, you've got to know what version of AutoCAD they have. And AutoCAD's good to do this, again, as you can see, every 3 to 4 years. They will kind of force you to upgrade, is kind of the idea. They're all .dwgs, and you'll see that they're all .dwgs right here. It's just a matter of how old they are. So you can always save down. If you save it down here to 2000, that means anybody with a version 2000 or newer will be able to open that file. So just something to be aware of when you get out in the workforce, to know what your people you're working with. They may not always have the most recent up-to-date version of CAD, so sometimes you do have to save down. There's some other file types that we'll learn about in this class. There's DWTs for templates. Okay, so we'll learn about those in a later chapter. DXFs are another type of file that is more common to other CAD programs, not necessarily AutoCAD or Autodesk programs, but your MicroStation has DXF files, and this is kind of the file format that you would save something in if you were going to export it and use it in another piece of CAD software. The other thing that Chapter 2 talks about is starting a new file. So up here in my Quick Access toolbar, if I were to click up here, that is the Q New command. So if I click there, that is going to bring up this Create New Drawing or Start from Scratch template. So I can just quickly choose Imperial or Metric, or if I want to get a little more detailed, I can come over here and choose Use a Wizard and click Advanced Setup, and you can go through these different things of picking what type of units you want. We all know that there's different ways to view the same number. I'm going to just click Engineering. Then Next. You can also choose your precision right here. You can choose your angles, how you want to measure angles, and again, you can choose your precision right there. You can choose how you want your angles measured. Where is 0, where is 180 degrees, how you choose those things. So I'm going to keep mine that typically that due east is 0, and then we go larger as we go counterclockwise. So here would be my 0 degrees, 90, 180, 270. That's pretty traditional. You can set your area, your grid here. I'm just going to leave that alone and go ahead and click Finish. So basically what I've just done is created a new imperial drawing with a particular type of angle, unit, and dimension measurements. Now, if you work at a company where you typically are going to start a drawing based on a template, you can actually change what happens when you push this Q New button up here. If you type in the word Startup in your command line, this is a thing called a system variable, and AutoCAD has hundreds of system variables. This happens to be one, and right now this system variable called Startup is set at 1, and it tells me that right there inside the brackets. If I were to type in 0 and then enter, I have just changed that system value Startup to 0. So now if I were to come up here and click the Q New button, it's going to take me to a different screen. It's going to ask me to select template, because that's another way we can start from a file. So here are some templates that are already pre-done. Typically your company would probably have one of these templates ready to go for you. So I'm just going to choose that one, and you can click Open. So notice this is a little bit different. You've got your grid turned on in this one, where before we didn't. And that totally is based on the startup command. So if I were to go into startup, change that back to 1. So now it's startup is equal to 1. If I were to come up and click Q new again, you'll notice it takes me back to that create a new drawing. So just depends on what you do most often at your particular place of business, which one is easier for you. I want to point something out. If I go to the Save As command, you have up here on the right under Tools, you have security options. And one of those security options is a password. Please be very careful. If you put a password on this drawing and you forget what it is, there is no recover password button. It is gone forever if you cannot remember your password. So just be very careful if you want to use this in the future. And typically it's important to know who's getting into your drawings, because when you work in the real world, you may have things saved out on a server system where lots of different people can get a hold of them. And you may want to password protect some things, but using Autodesk's password feature may not be the best thing. I would work with your IT office, and maybe it would be easier to password protect a particular folder on that server rather than password protect a file like what we're doing here. So I'm just going to cancel out of that. Another important system variable you need to be aware of is one called save time. And essentially what you see here is save time is it auto saves. And this one is set to 10, so that means 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes it's going to auto save for you. Depending on how quick you work, that's probably pretty good. But just realize that it's there and it is auto saving. And if you want to change it and make that a smaller number, you can. Totally up to you. Just realize that it is doable. The system variable is called save time. The last thing I want to talk to you about in Chapter 2 is understanding those different file types. So I just opened up my Windows Explorer here, and you're going to see that I've got some drawings up here. Okay, I've exported some things and I have some DXF files. But I also have these .bak files, and those are backup files. They're automatically created. They're rather small compared to my .dwg files. And it's going to, anytime you save something in CAD, it's automatically going to create that .bak file. Every now and again, your files will get corrupted. These .dwg files up here will get corrupted and you won't be able to open them. That's what those .bak files are there for. So don't go in on your flash drive or wherever you save your files at and erase those. It's not worth it. I guarantee at some point in your lifetime, you will end up corrupting an AutoCAD file, and you will be very thankful that those backup files are there. So the neat thing about these backup files is, maybe my Christmas banner up here or my parking lot A was messed up. So I come back in and I can see that there was this backup file created. Well, to open that in AutoCAD, all you have to do is right click and rename that file, get rid of the .bak, change it to a .dwg. It's going to ask you a little bit of a warning here. Do you want to change it? Yes, I do. And you'll notice now it's here and it changed the icon, and now I can open maybe that once corrupt parking lot A drawing is corrupt. Now I can click here and open that backup file. So really nice to have. Don't go and delete those .bak files. You'll need them at some point in your life.